The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink. As twilight embraced the forest, the campers gathered around a crackling campfire, its flames dancing and casting warm, flickering shadows on their faces. The smell of roasted marshmallows filled the air, mixing with the crisp scent of pine trees that surrounded them. Laughter floated through the trees, punctuated by the occasional whoosh of a log as it settled into the fire. If you enjoyed this video, please like the video and subscribe for more, and tell me where you are watching from today. I always find it awesome to see where all my viewers are watching from. Let's get back to the video. In this cozy setting, a sense of camaraderie washed over everyone. Friends shared stories from their lives back home, recounting tales of adventures and mishaps, some making exaggerated gestures that drew laughter from the group. The sound of crickets began to rise as the stars twinkled into view, adding a magical backdrop to the evening. Each camper felt connected not only to one another, but also to the beauty of the nature surrounding them. As they roasted marshmallows, they took turns telling ghost stories, their voices dropping to whispers and rising again with delight as they reached the scary parts. The glow from the fire illuminated their faces, which were filled with anticipation and excitement. Every now and then, someone would look up at the darkening sky, admiring the first stars that peeked through. Their hearts were light, filled with wonder about what else the night might bring. The sound of breezes rustling through the leaves echoed softly, as if nature itself was listening to their stories. The campers paused occasionally to listen more closely to the symphony around them. The hooting of an owl in the distance and the soft rustle of branches swaying in unison. It was a reminder that they were in an ancient world where magic seemed possible, and nature was alive with secrets. As they settled back into their chairs around the fire, one of the campers named Jake leaned forward. He raised his stick with a perfectly toasted marshmallow perched on top and declared, "I dare anyone to try to catch a fish tonight." This challenge sparked a playful debate among the group about who had the best fishing skills. Laughter erupted once again as they recalled failed fishing trips from past outings. Everyone was feeling bold as shadows danced around them, lighting up their imaginations. Suddenly, someone noticed something unusual beyond the trees. A flicker moved just outside their circle of light, a shadow against the deepening dusk. At first, it was barely noticeable, but then it emerged slowly, as if it was cautious yet curious about what lay ahead. The campers paused their chatter, their eyes widening in surprise. What appeared next was unlike anything they had expected. A magnificent stallion stepped quietly into view, its coat shimmering like silver under the moonlight's glow. It stood tall and proud, surveying the scene with intelligent eyes that seemed to hold countless stories of their own. The stallion's mane flowed like waves of silk as it moved gracefully toward the fire, each careful step drawing closer. The sudden stillness among the campers felt electric. A mix of awe and disbelief enveloped them as they watched this powerful creature approach. Some campers instinctively leaned back in their seats, unsure whether to be excited or frightened. Others whispered excitedly to one another, unable to contain their fascination with this unexpected visitor. "Is that a real horse?" One camper whispered incredulously, while pointing toward the stallion. Another nodded fervently, their eyes wide open. "Look how beautiful it is," said Mia, her voice filled with wonder. "It must be wild." The stallion paused a short distance from the firelight, its dark eyes shimmering with curiosity. It cocked its head slightly, as if it was trying to understand these strange beings who had gathered around this bright flame. The crackling fire cast flickering shadows on its sleek body, creating a mystical aura that seemed almost dreamlike. As this impressive creature stood before them, The campers felt a wave of quiet respect wash over them. The joy from their previous conversations faded into silence as they focused entirely on this unexpected visitor. Even Jake's bet about fishing slipped away from their minds, replaced by an overwhelming sense of wonder at being in such close proximity to such a majestic animal. They exchanged glances, wide-eyed and breathless, with each member of the group silently acknowledging how remarkable this moment was. There was something extraordinary about sharing this experience together beneath a canopy of stars and surrounded by nature's beauty. The atmosphere shifted from playful chatter to reverent stillness as they took in every detail of the stallion, the way its muscles rippled beneath its coat, how its nostrils flared slightly as it scented the air, and how its ears twitched attentively at every sound. What could have been just another night at camp had transformed into an encounter that felt like a story waiting to unfold. With every passing second, it became clearer that this stallion had not come merely by chance. There was purpose behind its presence. As they cherished this moment filled with awe and curiosity, they couldn't help but wonder what would happen next. Little did they know that what awaited them was more astonishing than any tale they could imagine around their beloved campfire. The crackling of the campfire filled the air with a comforting warmth. But the campers' laughter faded as they turned their eyes toward the woods. The shadows of the trees danced in the flickering light, and an electric silence fell over the group. The stallion stepped into view, emerging from the darkness like a vision brought to life. Its coat glistened under the moonlight, striking shade of silver that shimmered with every movement. The stallion walked slowly, each step deliberate and graceful, as if it were aware of how powerful and majestic it appeared. It paused for a moment at the edge of the clearing, standing tall and proud, surveying the curious faces that stared back at it with wide eyes. Mia was the first to break the silence. "Look at how beautiful it is," she whispered, her voice barely above a breath. The other campers nodded in agreement, their expressions filled with unspoken wonder. There was something captivating about this animal. It held an ancient grace that seemed to transcend time itself. As it moved closer to the firelight, they could see its strong muscles ripple beneath its glossy coat. The stallion's mane flowed behind it like a cascade of silk, catching the light in waves as it stepped forward with confidence. Its dark eyes sparkled with intelligence and curiosity, reflecting not just the glow of the flames, but also something deeper, a sense of knowing that intrigued everyone around. Jake leaned forward in his seat, unable to contain his excitement any longer. "Is that really a wild horse?" he asked incredulously, pointing toward the magnificent creature. The others nodded mutely, captivated by this unexpected visitor who had chosen to approach them on such a special night. The stallion took another step forward, drawing nearer to where they sat around the fire. With each gradual movement, it seemed to fill the air with an undeniable presence that commanded respect and admiration. Even those who had been joking moments earlier found themselves silent and still, entranced by what they were witnessing. As it drew close enough for them to see every detail, the way its nostrils flared slightly as it sniffed the air, and how its ears twitched at every sound, the campers felt a collective sense of awe wash over them. This moment was unlike anything they had ever experienced before on their camping trips. They were no longer just friends gathered around a fire. They were witnesses to something extraordinary. The stallion halted just within range of their campfire's glow, standing there as if waiting for something, perhaps an invitation or an acknowledgement from them. Its deep breaths created soft sounds that blended harmoniously with the gentle rustle of leaves in the evening breeze. Each camper exchanged glances. Their hearts raced not out of fear, but from exhilaration at being so close to such a powerful spirit. Do you think it's lost? Mia asked softly, her eyes never leaving the stallion's face. Her question hung in the air while everyone considered what this encounter might mean. Could this majestic creature truly have wandered away from its herd? Or was it drawn here for another reason? Just then, one of the campers took a cautious step forward, captivated by curiosity and wonder. Tentatively extending a hand toward the stallion, they hoped to bridge the gap between human and nature. Others hesitated but watched intently, as if anticipating what might happen next. The stallion remained still for a moment longer before lowering its head slightly. It appeared almost as if responding to this gesture of trust and curiosity. A wave of excitement rippled through the group as they realized their hearts beat in rhythm with this majestic creature before them. "Maybe it wants us to follow," Jake suggested with an adventurous gleam in his eye. The thrill of possibility ignited within them again, as they contemplated whether they should take action or stay put around their fire. But before anyone could respond further or make any decision about following this stunning creature into the woods, something remarkable happened. The stallion lifted its head once more and let out a deep neigh that echoed through the trees like a calling song beneath the stars. This sound resonated deeply within each camper's heart. It was both haunting and beautiful, a reminder of nature's wildness and freedom. In that moment, they understood that this stallion was not merely an animal visiting them. It was an embodiment of nature itself, wild yet wise, inviting them into its realm for just a few fleeting moments. The air thickened with anticipation as they felt an unspoken connection form between themselves and this magnificent beast. A bond forged through shared wonder and respect for all living things surrounding them under that starlit sky. For some reason deep inside their hearts told them that this encounter held significance beyond mere chance. Perhaps destiny had led this stallion to them on this very night, when laughter turned into awe and wonder transformed into reverence. As each camper absorbed this extraordinary sight before them, the shimmering figure illuminated by their campfire, they knew whatever happened next would be etched into their memories forever. This night had become more than just another camping trip. It had morphed into something magical, an experience woven together by threads of nature's beauty, intertwined with their own stories, waiting patiently to unfold beneath those stars glowing brightly above them. The majestic stallion stood just beyond the glow of the campfire, its shimmering silver coat illuminated by the flickering flames. The campers exchanged glances, their initial awe giving way to a mixture of excitement and caution. Each person felt a pull toward the creature, yet an instinctual wariness held them in place. "Wow, look at that," Jake exclaimed, his voice breaking the silence. He leaned closer to the flames, eyes wide with wonder as he took in the sight of the magnificent horse. "It's incredible. I've never seen anything like it before." His enthusiasm was contagious, igniting sparks of excitement in some of the other campers. Mia, however, remained rooted in her spot, her brow furrowed slightly. "It's so beautiful," she whispered, but her voice was tinged with uncertainty. "What if it's scared? We shouldn't scare it away." Her apprehension contrasted sharply with Jake's eagerness, highlighting how differently people can react to the same enchanting sight. The stallion's dark eyes scanned the campers as if gauging their intentions. It stood tall and proud, yet there was something gentle about its demeanor that seemed to invite them closer. The campers felt a collective tension in the air, a blend of thrill and trepidation that made their hearts race. "Maybe it's lost," Mia suggested softly, still watching with concern. "Or it's looking for food." She glanced around the clearing, as if searching for something to offer this unexpected visitor. The campers began discussing what they might do next, while keeping a respectful distance from the powerful creature. "Should we try to feed it?" asked Sam, who had been quietly observing. He always had a soft spot for animals and felt drawn to help. "I have some apples left over from our lunch." His excitement began to rise as he imagined a connection formed through an act of kindness. "Hold on," Mia cautioned him, raising a hand. "We don't know if it will come any closer just because we have food. It could be dangerous." Her caution resonated with a few others who nodded in agreement, still feeling unsure about approaching such a wild animal. As they debated among themselves, the stallion shifted its weight and took a hesitant step forward, its muscles rippling underneath its sleek coat. The gesture drew gasps from some campers, while others instinctively pulled back slightly. The mix of emotions swirled around them. Curiosity tugged at their hearts, while fear held them back. "Look, it's coming closer," Jake urged excitedly, but even he felt a flicker of uncertainty. Would this creature truly welcome them, or would it bolt back into the woods at any moment? "That's amazing," shouted another camper named Lily, her eyes sparkling with anticipation. "I think it wants us to come to it." She stood up and took a small step toward the stallion, encouraged by its movement. But Mia reached out to hold her back, her expression serious. "We have to be careful," she said firmly. "It might not be used to people." Mia's protective instincts kicked in. She wanted to ensure everyone remained safe while admiring this magnificent animal. The stallion halted again and observed them closely, as if trying to understand what these curious humans were planning. There was an air of serenity about it, calm yet powerful. And for a moment, everything else faded away as they became utterly absorbed in this enchanting encounter. "I think it can sense our energy," Jake observed quietly, thinking aloud as he took another cautious step forward despite Mia's attempt to restrain Lily. "Look at how it's breathing. It seems relaxed." He shifted his focus away from his friends and back to the stallion's graceful presence. The campers found themselves caught between wanting to approach and wanting to keep their distance. They were mesmerized by the beauty and strength radiating from this creature. Some whispered softly about what they should do next, while others traded glances filled with excitement and apprehension. "Do you think it knows we're here?" Lily asked quietly, tilting her head slightly as she watched how attentively the stallion listened to their voices mingling with nature's symphony around them. As if responding to their curiosity, the stallion took another step closer into the light cast by the fire. A bold move that sparked whispers among the group once more. The campers felt their hearts lift as they realized this magnificent creature displayed no signs of aggression. Rather, it appeared intrigued by them too. "Maybe we should all just sit still for now," suggested Sam thoughtfully. "Let it get comfortable around us." His suggestion hung in the air as everyone absorbed this idea, considering how best to proceed without scaring away their extraordinary visitor. The stallion paused again, just beyond reach, but close enough for everyone to observe its beauty. The way its mane flowed gently in the breeze, and how its ears twitched attentively at every sound that surrounded them. They shared nervous smiles filled with anticipation. Perhaps they were all wondering what would happen next. In that moment of shared wonderment under a canopy of stars and leaves rustling softly above them, they forged an unspoken bond, not only among themselves, but with nature itself. A reminder that sometimes extraordinary moments arise when least expected. The atmosphere shifted from one of apprehension into one filled with respect and admiration for this incredible being standing before them, giving rise to quiet hope that perhaps something magical would unfold next beneath the night sky, together with their new friend. The wild stallion who had wandered into their lives for just an instant, yet would forever leave an impression on their hearts. The stallion continued to advance slowly, its movements both graceful and deliberate. Each step was measured, showcasing its confidence as it stepped closer to the glowing warmth of the campfire. The campers remained captivated, their eyes wide with wonder as they witnessed this beautiful animal approaching them. As it neared, the stallion's body language spoke volumes. Its head was held high, yet its ears flicked back and forth with curiosity and attentiveness. The way it carried itself revealed a blend of strength and gentleness, strong enough to command attention, but calm enough to suggest that it meant no harm. With each spill of light from the fire illuminating its glossy coat, the stallion seemed to draw upon the awe of the campers, like an artist using vibrant colors on a canvas. "Look at how it moves," whispered Jake, captivated by the finesse with which the stallion glided over the ground, with muscles rippling beneath its coat. It was clear this creature was built for speed and power. Yet there was a softness in its approach that kept the tensions of apprehension at bay. The stallion paused just short of the firelight, standing regally as if weighing its options. It tilted its head slightly to one side, its dark eyes locking onto those of the campers with an inquisitive gaze that seemed to say, "What will you do next?" There was strength in that gaze, but also a gentle curiosity that mirrored their feelings of wonder and excitement. Mia felt her heartbeat quicken as she observed the stallion's demeanor. "It's really listening to us," she murmured softly, enthralled by how the creature seemed to take in everything around it. The flicker of flames, the rustle of leaves, and even their whispers filled with anticipation. It became clear to her that this beautiful stallion was not merely wandering without purpose. It appeared to understand this shared moment under the stars. The campers remained quiet, entranced by the scene unfolding before them. It was as if time had slowed down while they watched every small gesture, the way the stallion's nostrils flared gently as it breathed in their scent, making sure it gathered more information about who these strange humans were. They felt a bond forming in that delicate silence. A nervous thrill raced through Lily's veins as she recognized the stallion's trustful nature. "I think it wants us to come closer," she whispered again, resolved to move forward. But before she could take a step, Jake grabbed her arm gently while still staring at the stallion. His excitement momentarily faltered as he took note of the slight flicker in its ears. They moved back momentarily at her movement, a sign that perhaps caution should prevail. At that moment, the stallion took yet another step forward into the light. It was as though it were testing the waters, waiting patiently for their reactions. As it entered further into their circle of warmth cast by the flames, a shiver ran down several campers' spines. A thrilling combination of fear and exhilaration at witnessing such a wild creature approach them openly and unguarded. With each footfall on soft earth, they could hear subtle rustlings, like whispers merging with nature itself. The cool evening breeze carried whispers from treetops above them down to where they all sat. The air felt electric, as if alive with magic in those tender moments. The starlit sky took on an added brilliance, as if honoring this exchange between humans and beast. The stallion paused once more, lowering its head slightly, as if offering a sign of peace or goodwill to those gathered around. It snorted softly, sending tendrils of mist into the cool night air. A gesture filled with calmness that eased some of their fears and warmed their hearts again. They noticed how its muscles relaxed visibly, while still carrying an innate wildness that reminded everyone present of their surroundings at that very moment. They remain visitors in nature's sanctum. I feel like we're part of something special, Sam finally said aloud quietly, breaking into the silence again as he shifted in his seat. His words resonated deeply across all who heard them. A reminder that within this shared experience lay something unique that would linger well beyond that night under a tapestry of stars. As if responding further to Sam's words, or perhaps sensing their growing admiration, the stallion took one last confident step toward the campfire. Its powerful form lit up with hues under flame, while embodying both elegance and raw spirit. Finally, it reached a point just outside their circle, but close enough for them to witness its grandeur fully. An unspoken agreement hung among them as they took in every detail. The beauty of every curve against fiery orange light, unveiling secrets hidden beneath layers of fur. A living work of art born from dreams, interwoven with reality. Their collective sense of wonder deepened. What initially began, wrapped in nervous anticipation, morphed effortlessly into reverence. Jake couldn't help himself then. He leaned forward slightly despite lingering hesitations within others around him. He seemed drawn toward what lay ahead. Forward momentum forged from courage infused with kindness, melded seamlessly together over time spent marveling at this majestic creature. "Perhaps we can greet it," he suggested bravely, keeping his voice steady yet tinged with excitement tempered by respect. Between whispers exchanged like promises, spun delicately, while gazing at one another across firelight drawn near, before them all stood this powerful being now deservedly revered. Not merely seen, but truly appreciated for everything it embodied. Wildness intertwined beautifully, alongside grace, underneath moonlit skies, alive with endless stories, yet told, yet awaited by all souls, willing enough to embark upon discovery together within life's embrace right then and there, in shining moments crafted just for them alone tonight. The stallion stood just outside the circle of firelight, its powerful presence commanding respect and admiration. As the campers watched in breathless anticipation, they felt a palpable energy in the air, a mix of excitement and curiosity that made their hearts race. They couldn't help but wonder what this magnificent creature would do next. Suddenly, the stallion lowered its head, a gesture that took everyone by surprise. It wasn't the kind of bow they would expect from a horse. It was something more profound. The stallion's long, flowing mane cascaded down like a waterfall as it bent its neck gracefully, almost as if it were acknowledging their presence in a way that transcended mere animal behavior. There was a softness in that moment that enveloped the campers, filling them with an overwhelming sense of connection. "Look," Mia gasped, her eyes wide. "It's bowing to us." She could hardly believe what she was witnessing. The other campers shared her astonishment, their mouths agape as they processed the unexpected display of humility from such a powerful animal. Jake felt a rush of excitement surge through him. "This is incredible," he exclaimed, taking a step forward despite the lingering caution in his heart. The stallion remained bowed for just a moment longer before raising its head again to meet their gaze. Those dark eyes shimmering with intelligence and understanding. It felt like an invitation into an unspoken dialogue between human and nature. The air around them seemed to thrum with magic as they absorbed this extraordinary sight. The stallion's actions spoke volumes. It wasn't merely standing before them, but actively engaging with them, breaking down barriers that separated humans from the wild. It was as if the stallion wanted to communicate that it recognized their presence and shared this moment with them. What does it mean? Sam wondered aloud, still captivated by the stallion's grace and poise. Is it trying to tell us something? He looked at his friends, seeking answers while feeling the weight of this shared experience settle like a blanket over them. It feels like respect, Lily replied thoughtfully, her voice barely above a whisper. Maybe it's showing us that we're part of something bigger than ourselves. Her words resonated with everyone present. They could feel the significance of this encounter deep within their hearts. The stallion took another step closer after raising its head, still maintaining that gentle demeanor. Its body language exuded confidence and calmness. Yet there remained a hint of wildness that reminded them of its true nature. With each delicate move, it drew nearer to the firelight, becoming more than just a creature. They began to see it as an embodiment of nature itself. As it approached further into view, the campers noticed how the flickering flames danced upon its coat, illuminating every muscle and curve with ethereal light. In that moment, they felt both humbled and honored to be in such close proximity to this magnificent animal, whose gestures spoke louder than words ever could. The stallion stopped once again, but remained within reach of the fire's glow. It raised its head high and let out a deep neigh that echoed across the clearing, a sound both haunting and beautiful. A perfect representation of freedom and wildness, mingled with curiosity and grace. The campers held their breath collectively, feeling as though time had frozen around them while they absorbed every detail of this extraordinary interaction. The sound reverberated through their bodies. It was as if the stallion was calling out not just to them, but to all beings within the forest. An invitation for connection and understanding. Maybe we should return the gesture, Jake suggested suddenly, excitement lacing his voice. He looked around, at his friends, hoping they would share in his enthusiasm for acknowledging this remarkable moment together. What if we bow back? Mia proposed shyly but firmly, her heart racing at the thought. She felt inspired by how natural this exchange had become. Perhaps honoring this incredible creature would deepen their bond even further. One by one, they nodded in agreement, caught up in the spirit of adventure and magic filling the air around them. They carefully lowered themselves into slight bows, mirroring what the stallion had done moments earlier while maintaining eye contact with those dark, intelligent eyes, watching them closely. In unison, they offered silent gestures filled with respect. An understanding forged under starlit skies where humanity met nature, harmoniously woven together through shared experiences and wonders beyond words. As they stood there collectively bowed before this magnificent beast who had graced their campfire with its presence, the air thickened with reverence. The campers realized they were partaking in something far beyond themselves. A fleeting connection between species bridging gaps through mutual respect, amidst nature's embrace under moonlit skies, alive with endless possibilities, waiting yet untold. With hearts wide open under celestial realms, filled with wonder and awe. This night would become an unforgettable memory, etched into their souls forever. Each camper aware that what lay ahead would hold surprises beyond imagination. Gifted by a stallion who had approached slowly, yet left an indelible mark on their spirits forevermore. The atmosphere around the campfire shifted palpably after the stallion's unexpected bow, leaving the campers in a state of amazement. Each camper had their own interpretation of this extraordinary moment, and they began to share their thoughts as they gathered closer together, eyes still wide with wonder. "Can you believe that?" Jake exclaimed, practically bouncing in place as adrenaline coursed through him. "I think it bowed to us because it respects us. This is incredible. I've heard about horses showing submission, but this feels way more personal." He gestured animatedly towards the stallion, radiating excitement and enthusiasm. The firelight flickered on his face, illuminating his eagerness. Mia watched the stallion carefully, her heart filled with a sense of tranquility. "I see it differently," she replied thoughtfully. "To me, it feels like it was inviting us to connect with nature on a deeper level. It's more than just respect. It's about being part of something bigger than ourselves." Her tone was calm, as though she were trying to convey a profound realization that had washed over her during this encounter. Lily chimed in with an understanding smile. "Absolutely. It's like this stallion represents the wild spirit of nature itself," she said. "By bowing down, it's saying that we are welcome here. It connects us to this place, to the earth, and to every living creature around us." Her conviction resonated deeply as she expressed a view that seemed to bridge curiosity and spirituality. "Wow," Sam said thoughtfully, leaning back slightly as he absorbed what Mia and Lily were saying. He looked toward the glowing embers in the fire before returning his gaze to the stallion. "It reminds me that we often forget how intertwined we are with nature. This wasn't just a chance meeting. It feels like we've been shown something profound, the beauty and grace of wildness." His reflective words spurred a conversation among them about their responsibilities to preserve such moments for future generations. Jake nodded, but couldn't shake his enthusiastic perspective just yet. "But can you imagine telling everyone about this?" he urged gleefully. "No one will believe us when we say that a wild horse bowed at our campfire. We'll have the most legendary camping story ever." He grinned from ear to ear, beckoning encouragement from his friends as they relished his childlike excitement. "That is true." Mia laughed in agreement, but remained mindful of Jake's desire for action. "Still, what excites me even more is how meaningful this experience is," she pointed out gently but firmly. "This moment could give us all an extra push to appreciate and protect places like this. It's like nature is reminding us about our role in all this," Lily added earnestly, touching her heart softly. They all exchanged glances filled with understanding. A unifying bond formed under starlit warmth. As discussions ebbed and flowed among them, quiet reflections began weaving through each camper's mind, thoughts forming connections forged deeper than words alone could express. "I keep thinking about how fortunate we are," Sam remarked solemnly after some moments passed in comfortable silence. "So many people don't get the chance to witness something like this." The stalls between sentences felt fuller. They acknowledged how rare true connections like theirs could be. An experience richly layered beneath darkening skies, alive with sweet melodies from crickets chirping above them. "Maybe we should remind others to respect nature too," Mia suggested brightly, bursting with enthusiasm at the thought of spreading their insights beyond their camping circle. "Yes," Jake agreed emphatically, while raising an imaginary trophy overhead, proudly declaring victory over barriers between people and nature alike. "After all," he added cheerfully, "we can be advocates. We need more people cherishing these moments." "Yes," Lily echoed excitedly, while picturing scenes illustrated vividly, where they raised awareness through sharing stories crafted along flames, flickering wildly, reaching forth, dancing, searching, illuminating hearts, igniting sparks, brewing fresh life, gently spinning through winds, alive, cultivating profound meaning together, threading communities, formed amongst shared experiences, upon blazing adventures, passing life-sustaining paths, intertwined, alongside roaring laughter, overflowing wisdom, melting every shadow dealt quietly, beckoning future embarking, breathlessly, striving fiercely, exploring possibility drawn wide, close-knit forever, emblazed brightly etched, lovingly stitched across joyous adventures, undertaken peacefully surrounding knowledge, manifested happily interwoven destinies, blooming knitted forever strong through hopeful odds, conceived polished further lighting, unseen trials sparkled laughter, discover among wandering journeys, cradling wise tales, abundant sustaining deepened landscape, skimming undeniably beautifully marking freshness, laid painstaking chains, lovingly strung, unbroken, endlessly transfixed, grazing hush whispers, revered looming vast colors, blending elegantly, encompassing everything, birthed abundantly, resolutely, unfurling mysteries, never-ending realms, swirling throughout embrace, across light, shining beautifully, illuminating painted voyages, born on whispering winds, under endless horizons, only found within treasures shared alive, forging next ripples, effect dominantly, enchanted forever, evolving freely, zealously laughing, boldly, celebrating shared experience, dazzling mothers, brimming hope, fostering connection, born aloud willingly, if only missing within, rising longing, pining forth, enlivened childhood dares, flying beyond horizons, embracing further stretched, brilliantly shining, endless stories, yearning containing originality, following soaring moments, perched high, embracing warmth, carried full circle, connecting nurturing roots, anchored reliable magnificence onward, awash, welcoming creatures, stopping watchful waiting, enduring spells bounded, harmonizing stars, igniting beloved, timeless flourish, promising growth. Followed on woven seeds, dared apart trusted truth, placed tenderly into hearts shared organically, synonymous granting flow, grown taking flight, blossomed embraced, renewed nurturing shades, parading lasting impressions afloat, reaching spreading light, ignited impartingly, nurtured forward dreaming. Boundless expansively adventuring beauty, ever discovered, exchanging distances sought. Nestled growing, brightening, inviting whispers sparking. Reminded fundamental woven early touch forward, shared preserved alight, breathing, treasured family believed, connected chosen forever. Captivating richness, hidden shaped, gathered drawn lovingly together. Once lost born thriving abundantly, both turning discovering light. Crystallized bright blue spiraled longing, uplifting gifts, welcoming gentle edges, carried collapsing into dreams, crossing realms, represented lives, combined previously rooted transitions, stitched widely, twined, departed aflame, etched revived golden threads interlaced, lively, carried bold artistic formations, united journey found faithful, elevated echoes, transcending parted rustling, organic acceptance. Unveiled braided threads gently mesmerizing, holding sweet embraces, loyally once known returning. Anew drawing nearer, freely whispered, always holding celestial illusions, cherished, unfolding wonder. Alive, thrived unfolding, gently across entire landscapes, ventured anew, continually reaching imagery, poetically stitching love, dependent upon seeds cultivated, warmly closing circles, reimagining intertwined destinies, pledged closer afresh, flourishing around breezes, twinkling bright glimmers, awakening distant, impossible yet gloriously encouraged now, lived vibrantly ever radiantly bright. Keeping love enduring, vibrant, tender, open arms, held near. Carrying cherished hopes, woven intricately awaiting everything. Ever meeting brightness standing, united flourishing, embracing, expanding, infinitely devoted sturdy homes, built strong walking upon rich colors, luminescently basking vibrant cherished connections, shared, spent lifelong nourished. As the campers settled back into a comfortable rhythm after sharing their interpretations of the Stallion's bow, the air around the fire began to hum with energy. The flames danced merrily, casting flickering shadows across their faces and igniting a sense of camaraderie that inspired them further. "Let's share our stories," Jake suggested eagerly, his previous excitement rekindled by the moment. "I bet everyone here has something amazing to share about nature or animals." His enthusiasm was contagious, and the campers nodded in agreement, ready to dive into their own experiences. Mia smiled warmly and began. "I remember the first time I saw a wild horse. It was during a family trip to the mountains. We were hiking along a trail when suddenly we heard thundering hooves approaching. It was a small herd galloping down the hillside, and I was completely mesmerized. The way they moved together felt like poetry in motion. She paused, remembering how her heart raced at that moment. I'll never forget how free they looked. That sounds incredible, Lily exclaimed, her eyes bright with inspiration. I have my own horse story too. When I was younger, I took riding lessons at a local farm. There was this one pony named Star that I just adored. One day, she and I went on a trail ride together through an open field filled with wildflowers. The sun was shining, and everything felt perfect. In that moment, it felt like we were flying together over the landscape. Her face lit up as she described the joy she felt during that ride. Sam leaned forward in his seat, wanting to contribute to the growing tapestry of shared experiences. You know, he started hesitantly but with growing confidence. I've always been fascinated by nature more than horses specifically. Last summer, I went camping near a lake where I saw a family of otters playing in the water. They were so playful and curious. Watching them reminded me of how connected we all are in nature, the joy we can find just by observing other creatures. He smiled at the memory, feeling grateful for those moments spent outdoors. Jake's eyes gleamed with excitement as he thought of his own experience. That's such a cool story, Sam. It makes me think about the time I went to a wildlife park. They had an area where you could feed giraffes. They're such amazing animals, so tall and graceful. I'll never forget how soft their tongues felt when they took food from my hand. It was like being part of something special. The group erupted into laughter, some playfully pretending to imitate giraffes reaching for leaves, while others listened intently. That light-hearted atmosphere made sharing feel even easier. Mia chuckled along with them before diving back into her memories. You know, these stories remind me of how important it is to protect our natural spaces, she said thoughtfully. I think we should all commit to doing something, big or small, to help preserve these beautiful places. I agree, Lily added enthusiastically. Maybe we can start by organizing cleanup days in our local parks or sharing these stories with others to inspire them. Each camper nodded in agreement, their spirits lifted by the idea of taking action together. As they continued to share their stories and brainstorm ideas for protecting nature, the warmth of friendship enveloped them like a cozy blanket wrapped around their shoulders. They realized that not only had they experienced something magical together with the Stallion, but they were also forging deeper connections with each other as they shared their personal encounters with nature. So how about this? Jake proposed as a smile spread across his face. Let's make it a tradition. Every time we camp together from now on, we can share new stories about nature or animals that inspire us. That sounds amazing. Mia cheered along with Lily and Sam, their hearts swelling at the prospect. The fire flickered brightly, as if in agreement, casting its warm glow on their faces while softly illuminating the night surrounding them. A reminder that magic could be found everywhere, if only they chose to look for it. In that moment of shared storytelling and laughter, they solidified not only their newfound commitment to protect nature, but also their bond as friends. They each left behind pieces of themselves, woven into tales told around the fire, promising to carry those connections forward no matter where life took them next. As they gazed up at the stars glimmering above, a limitless canvas reflecting dreams and adventures yet to come, they knew this night would forever remain etched in their memories as something truly special. A celebration of friendship, anchored deep within shared stories, inspired by nature's beauty. captured alongside wild adventures held closely forever, cherished, deeply entwined, empowering them forward towards brighter tomorrows, filled abundantly with hope, joyfully embraced, cherished, alongside one another, evermore nurtured, freely nurtured, blossomed beautifully onward. As the campers exchanged stories and laughter, the air still tingled with the remnants of the stallion's bow. They turned their attention once more to where the creature had stood, feeling a sense of magic enveloping them, an unspoken connection that lingered in the night air. The stallion remained for just a few more heartbeats, allowing them a moment to absorb everything that had happened. Its dark eyes flickered back toward the group as if to say one last goodbye, a gentle acknowledgement that this magical moment would forever be engraved in their minds. Slowly, it began to retreat back into the woods, its movements graceful and deliberate. The majestic beast stepped away from the campfire's warm glow, merging seamlessly with the shadows of the trees behind it. With each step backward, the sense of loss weighed heavier on the campers' hearts. They felt as if they were being gifted with farewell, as though they were witnesses to something both meaningful and fragile. Mia held her breath, entranced by how perfectly composed it was as it made its way back into its natural habitat. "Look at how beautiful it moves," she whispered, captivated by the sight before her. Just then, a soft breeze rustled through leaves overhead, enhancing the enchanting atmosphere surrounding them. The stallion turned its head slightly then, an almost regal posture framed against the night sky, taking in one last look at its human companions gathered around like glowing embers, flickering brightly in contrast to the dark wilderness beyond. Each camper felt an undeniable spark igniting within them. They knew this encounter resonated deeper than mere surface interactions. It had unveiled connections bridging species together. With a final push through foliage, painted dark against luminous wonder, twinkling high above in time-swallowed serenity, gained enough resolve. The stallion backed further away into shadows until all that remained was a shimmering outline fading into memory. Moments stretched between heartbeats as silence spread among them. A soothing balm punctuated only by calming sounds of nature all around their encampment, as corners of their faces turned thoughtful amidst lingering awe, now transpired gently guiding pensiveness rising slowly within. All campfire glows fitfully flickered, gradually dimming beams, penetrating through intangibility, spiraling softly, unfolding, blanketing collectiveness, shrouding uniqueness, powerfully relenting, boundlessly endless possibilities, where unified essences thrived, encouraging intimacy, subtle rising hope, nurtured warmly, like fresh puffs, draping lovingly coupled together. Opening perspectives, honoring neatly woven paths, extending vibrancy, sheltered grounded rest upon cherished stories shared. Did you all feel that? Sam finally broke into conversation. Curiosity passed through eyes, lighting across neighboring hearts, yearningly rekindled, reflecting gently kindling spirits, wholly united, brimming fulmination, remarkably rising, serendipitously pushing ever-resilient, promising mark amongst twilight bound. Trusting sparkle casting warmth, left glowing driven gracious hopes, cradled tender amongst celestial echoes, conjured life-birthed, blooming longings forever. Bright collectively embraced, yearning shyly sought, light close felt uniquely. That was incredible. Lily murmured softly through gentle tones, forming quiet reminders, cultivating deeper essence, rooted tightly, sewn exquisitely wrapped, forgiving recollections, trailing eventual renewals, exploring whispers, touching dreams, undeniably realized, stirring onward, ignited lush discoveries, alive, taut awaiting ongoing adventures, joining transformed, promising paths, wound intricately, losingly encompassing every glitter-lit sky above, holding vibrant truths, sheltered, inviting broken spaces, pressed, intently adored, endlessly fostering timeless gathering forward past, promised gentle reminiscences, flights, warming, enveloped beautifully. Let's not waste what we've experienced tonight, Jake suggested excitedly, while threading solid certainty, warm resilience course through highlighting shine. Tearing open others' hearts visibly aglow, eagerly paired drawn fond energy together, quickly recapping, drawing youthful exclamations, summoning vivid colors, sparkling positively, affirmatively, reviving collective threads, nourishing flames, dreaming forward whose courses remaining present, fueled ambitious thoughts. Once place-sought horizon, glazed broadly, unyielding soaring bonds, anchored. I think we should write about it. Mia responded enthusiastically, filled buzzing fervor, picking up on ideas, echoing born, woven pathways, introduced fostering budding schemes, growing stems, cultivated, discovering deliberately highlighted harmonic reverberations, breathing, kindling whirlwinds, embracing definitions, designed, seeking purpose poised, attended hopeful engagement, aimed, anchored brightly, devoted relevancy, wrapping memories stored, carefully vibrating towards uplifting blooms, elegantly straying, present, weaving closest encounters, factored gently, timeless, fleeting impressions, expanding, aware-inspiring hearts, held hopefully glimpsed, constantly revealed magic encountered, forged, lovingly retained, sewed alongside pulsing journeys, waiting ahead, intermingled, perpetually gracious, encompassed, flourishing strongly. Together beneath moonlight, streaked broader faded sighs, drifting essences read, lively stirring colors gleaming beneath expansive woven realms, ushering traces, promised voices, led navigating respectful harmony, surrounding energies, merging simple roaming wonders, beckoned new enchanting ranges, encompassed sweet solace, threaded compassionate sentiments, ultimately ambush, blooming grace, entwined, evermore, healing, matured, invigorated, remarkable, ever visible, continue unraveling tales, crafted, timeless, layered, extravagant, everlasting edifices, cherished, climbed, ascended skyward, fondly witnessed, luminous, nourishing, breathlessly hoped upon, echoed, resonate, alongside. Dearly remembrances nestled safely, fastening folds, blossoming sentiments charged, performing steadily, narrating intimate, tethered pathways, interconnected, accompanied, pursued, maturity. Fixed, emanate, distinct, universal, expansive realms, existing, study, knowing joy, celebratory friends, tightly led, unveiled, opened, exploring art, embraced, love, unfolding legacy, cherished always. As the last glimmers of the Stallion faded into the night, the campers sat in contemplative silence, each absorbed in their thoughts. The fire continued to crackle and pop, sending embers swirling into the cool evening air. But for the group, it felt as if time had slowed down, allowing them to reflect on the remarkable encounter they had just experienced. Mia broke the silence first, her voice soft yet steady. "It's amazing how nature can surprise us like that," she said, gazing into the flames. "One minute we're just sitting here, enjoying our time together, and then this incredible creature appears as if to teach us something important." "Absolutely," Jake agreed, nodding thoughtfully. "I mean, I've always loved animals, but this was different. It felt like the Stallion was communicating with us in a way that went beyond words. It's like it showed us a bridge connecting humans and nature, something we often forget to pay attention to." Lily sat back, cradling her knees to her chest. "I think I'll remember this night forever," she said quietly. "It really highlights how much there is to learn from animals. They possess an intuition we don't always recognize. I wish everyone could experience that connection." Her gaze drifted towards the trees where the Stallion had vanished. and she felt a gentle longing to return to that place. "It makes you think about our responsibilities," Sam chimed in, his voice contemplative. Seeing that stallion bow reminded me that we must respect all living creatures and their habitats. It's not just about enjoying nature, it's about protecting it too. His words hung in the air, resonating deeply with his friends. The campers reflected on nature's mysteries and lessons learned through their experiences. The night seemed to hold countless whispers of wisdom. How powerful moments like this could shift perspectives and inspire action. Each one felt an awakening within, stirring a desire to become guardians of the natural world around them. Mia continued, her heart swelling with purpose as she spoke. "What if we started an initiative back home? We could organize community events to teach others about respecting wildlife and caring for nature." Her voice grew more animated as ideas flowed through her mind. "That sounds awesome." Jake jumped in, energized by Mia's enthusiasm. "We could create a club at school where students share stories and advocate for the environment. Maybe a Nature Appreciation Day, where everyone can come together and celebrate what we've experienced." Tonight, as they brainstormed ideas for projects and initiatives, they felt an invigorating sense of hope growing among them. A hope inspired by the stallion and its unexpected gesture. They realized that their encounter wasn't just a fleeting moment. It was an invitation to connect with something larger than themselves. Lily contributed her own thoughts, adding depth to their conversation. "This experience reminds me of how vital it is for us to reconnect with nature in our everyday lives. We get so wrapped up in technology and daily routines that we forget to look around and appreciate the beauty surrounding us." "Exactly," Sam agreed. "I think we should incorporate nature walks into our club activities. We could explore local parks or go hiking together. Anything that helps us stay grounded and connected with the environment." He envisioned weekends spent walking trails beneath towering trees, feeling the earth beneath their feet. As they continued sharing new ideas and aspirations for their club, their laughter bubbled up once again, weaving joy into their conversation. The warmth of friendship enveloped them, a bond not only formed through shared stories, but also strengthened by their commitment to preserve the lessons learned from that magical encounter. "Let's promise to keep this spirit alive," Jake proposed brightly as he leaned forward eagerly. "Every time we camp together or spend time outside, let's remind each other of this night and what it means. Let's keep inspiring each other." The campers nodded enthusiastically, sealing their pact with smiles filled with genuine hope and excitement for what lay ahead. The glow of the campfire echoed their inner warmth, their determination sparkling brightly as they envisioned future adventures nurtured by a shared responsibility toward nature. As they gazed up at the night sky, sprinkled with stars twinkling like diamonds above them, they felt small, yet connected to something infinite. A web of life extending far beyond their immediate surroundings, but intricately woven together nonetheless. Each camper understood that while they might return home from this camping trip, the lessons learned would continue to guide them forward. Nature had a way of unveiling truths when least expected. It could spark joy or introspection, or offer new paths never thought possible. In that magical moment beneath the constellations, they embraced those revelations fully, their hearts forever marked by a stallion whose presence had bridged worlds and strengthened bonds like no other, reminding them of life's beautiful mysteries, waiting patiently to be discovered beyond every tree line, beckoning gently towards impending journeys ahead.